Hello musicians, let's talk today about a very interesting aspect of partimento. So we are answering Edward, we're studying the partimento method, and he has a question. The question is, hi Ricardus, I think I'm on the right track, but I'm sure there's some things wrong. Couple questions. One, should I be ending each sequence with a cadence? Two, sometimes when I'm playing a sequence, it feels like it wants to change key, and I don't know, and I don't understand why that's happening. It's like in Bach's first invention, when the melody starts in C major, but eventually the melody wants to use an F sharp and modulate to G major. I'm not sure why this is happening. Is this where solmization comes in, or will this be explained in a later chapter? Thank you very much. This question is very interesting because the answer is both solmization and a later chapter. First of all, let's go to the first question. Should I be ending each sequence with a cadence? Yes and no. It depends on the context. For example, here we are in the stage which is so let's keep here the phone. We are in the stage which is 3 down, 2 up, which means that in this stage we have the melody, the prototype moving 3rd down and 2nd up. Let's take the prototype. Say and play, this one, okay. As you can see, we have these notes. Now, to better show you here, I can do this way, tac, tac, and so you can clearly see the keyboard and the screen. Now, 3 down, 2 up, 3 down, 2 up, 3 down, 2 up, and it's very long, as you can see. Up to the end, fa, sol, mi. Here we do not have a clear cadence actually in this prototype, but in other prototypes we have cadences. So yes, the answer is yes. In terms of in a composition after a sequence you may find a cadence, okay, maybe not a strong, not necessarily a strong cadence, but even a little cadence. Then even this, it's a comma cadence when we have 7-1 in the bass, mi, fa, and this is something you learn in chapter 7 where we talked about advanced cadences. There is a cadence called cantus cadence, exactly this one, sol, mi. And this way. About the second question, so about the first question, consider the context. It's not necessary, but it can be nice. Then, about the second question, it's like if you want, for example, here to modulate to to G major, to the 5th degree. Yes, because you start the pattern, you do it with the diminutions. But this is what you want to do. Exactly. This is something you'll do in chapter 10. Why? If you go to chapter 10, so in chapter 10, it's all about modulations, and we'll study the different ways to do modulations. For example, here we have chapter 10 where we study modulations between the 1st degree and the 5th degree. We have the PDF with the rules, and for each kind of modulation from the 1st degree to the 5th degree, this example, we practice with different scales. Here with the descending scale, then with the tight bass, and then with an ascending scale, because we can do modulation in different ways. A way, for example, to make a modulation from the 1st degree to the 5th degree consists in using a descending scale very similar to a primer in this case. Sol, la, sol, mi, fa. And when we make a modulation, not just a little cadence, but a modulation to a new key, we change the hexachord, mi, fa. And for this reason, we have to go, we have to look to the mi, fa rule. Mi, fa, which are the two elements you have to use in order to make a modulation to another key. Mi, fa. The mi, fa, mi of G major are F sharp, G, and C and B. So you can apply this here. Even inverting. So, and then you can apply diminution. Sol, fa, sol, la, sol, mi, sol. And then you can confirm the modulation with a cadence. So, yes, then even with the descending scale, using the tight bass this way, or a tied bass where you introduce the mi fa instead of in one of the upper voices in the bass itself. That's why it's tied bass. This way. We can even do the same thing in the 3 down to up. Ending with a cadence which reinforces the modulation. Another thing, let's suppose that we want to do modulation to the 6th degree. For example, to A minor, from C major to A minor. So let's take again the prototype. This is very complete, as you can see. You can connect all the elements here. Stay and play the prototypes. We want to make a modulation to A minor. So we are very close to A minor here. So the sequence does not have the time to be developed. So what we can do is we can use this G with a sharp, or we can use another G. For example, if we make this F sharp and the second G sharp, we can use the melodic scale here. Let's do one thing at a time. For G sharp, you can do, for modulation to A minor, you can use this G sharp. The sequence is very short, and then use a cadence to confirm the cadence. Another thing you can do consists in imagining this F sharp and G sharp, and then A. This is a possibility. Let's practice this way. And then a cadence to confirm A minor. Another thing here consists in arriving to have a G in the melody, but here is very far, the sequence is very long, takes too much to have to don't get boring. This way. So yes, when you want to do modulation, you have to use the mi-fa rule, clearly explained in chapter 10, but in general consider that it is a diminished fifth or augmented fourth towards the new key. And yes, that's why solmization here is very useful, because when you learn what is the mi and the fa through all the hexachords, it's that easy. Another thing you can do, go to the new version of the solmization course that you have. I'll show you what part I'm talking about, because here in up in the new version of the solmization course, so solmization here in chapter 6, hexachordal solfeggio, in lesson number 6.1, we practice and even analyze. Now I think that there is a problem with Safari, so if I go, okay, it blocks, okay, but this is the iPad. Safari. So let's open the PDF here with the no rules. This is what we want exactly. Okay, now beside all these things, at the end we do the solfeggio. I do in the video the entire solfeggio and with solmization of invention number 1. So you see where we change the hexachord, because here what Bach is doing is fa mi fa sol la do re mi fa sol la fa la sol fa mi la sol fa mi re fa mi sol fa la sol fa mi, and fa mi is the same principle we had applied before in our sequence with the tied bass in this case. So yes, the answer is both. Here is where solmization comes in, and will be explained in another chapter. Chapter 10 is entirely dedicated to modulations. So this is the answer to this question. So you can continue now your journey studying these cadences, remaining in the key, and then you can even do some modulation. But even in the partimentini there are modulations, because in the partimentini you have to follow the bass which is modulating. It's not so frequent to find a partimentino which stays in only one key. There is generally a modulation to a minor mode or to the fifth degree. And here you can see how the introduction of a new accident, sharp or flat, can create a modulation. That's it. Abracadabra! Words are not just sounds, but powerful spells. Words are not just letters, but living thoughts. Words are not just writings, but magical ingredients. Words allow you to learn and understand better. Because it is only when you know how to say something and how to name or describe it that you truly know it. In the partimento method, you can learn how to compose your own music and release the creative musician hidden within you with the magical say and play exercises. With these exercises, you will become very good to play all the patterns of musical composition through all the keys and transforming them into your music by adding lots of diminutions. Say the name of the letters you play, say the solmization syllables, and say the names of the intervals you play. Start now for free and experience the power of say and play exercises. Click on this link, register your free account, and start now your magical journey. Abracadabra!